Aloha there, Hezekiah. I thought you did a wonderful job today. So what we're going to talk about is you know how to play the F major. We have our first finger on the F. The F is a pivot point chord for a lot of things. If we play a C major and we put down the F, it makes a sus chord. If we're playing just the F major, I keep that finger there so I can easily go boop and then lay down a finger to make a G7. So the concept is we work on going to that note as our position, and then when we move those, just like our teeter-totters, the fingers will stop just moving one at a time, and they'll start moving all at a time. So the idea is to become a little bit more fluid, but to take it slow, step by step. Great job today. So the song we were doing, we covered last time, The Old MacDonald Had a Farm. I think you're doing a wonderful job with the rhythms. That one, pretty key on. The only thing that I wanted to point out is when we do the eighth notes, here a cow, there a cow, everywhere a cow, cow. That feels like this in slow motion. Ready? Eighth note, quarter, eighth note, quarter, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, quarter. That's the feeling. Here a duck, there a duck, everywhere a duck, duck. Remember, our hand is fluidly going through, doing click, clock, click, clock, click, clock, whether we play on the beat or not. And today we learned those are called rests. It's the lack of a note. So great job today. Also, in our book, when we turn to page 30, we find ourselves on the song, Oh, When the Saints A-Go Marching In. So we're going to do this right here. What's the first thing we do when we look at a piece of music? Do you have your book with you? I hope you do. Yes, it's in the key of C because there are no sharps and flats. In that first measure, you could see that we have notes that are barred together, which means they are not whole notes, they are not half notes, they are not quarter notes. Those are eighth notes. And when we have an eighth note, we know that it's worth 0.5 or half of a beat. So half plus a half is 1, plus another half is 1.5 or 1.5. So we're quite literally missing a couple notes. We call that a pickup measure because the notes are actually in a different measure. They're all the way down at the end of the song at the last measure. We can see when we counted, there's a half note, which is worth 2 beats, and then there's a quarter rest or an eighth note rest, which is worth 0.5, the same as an eighth note. So the concept here is when we count this, we're going to have that beat of 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and is 2.5 plus 1.5 equals, you guessed it, 2 plus 3, 3.5. What we're going to do is see in that 4 count. It fulfills the 4 beats per, it completes the 4 beats per measure because of the addition. 2.5 plus 1.5 equals 4. There it is. So I know it's a lot of math, but the idea is once you learn it one time, you only really need to learn it one time. So I'm going to send another video, which is the entire song. The only thing I want you to see is when we're playing this, the other beat was this. Rest, downstroke. When we play it with a chord, it gives us a rhythm. Nice. So practice that this week with and without this song, and you'll do it in a whole bunch of other songs we do. It's great seeing you. Look forward to seeing you next week. Aloha.